Hey, Verl Workman here. We're talking teams today, and today we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, and it's simply how much time should you spend with your family? Now, as a father of 6 and a grandfather of 10, what I've learned is as much as you can. You see, our life as entrepreneurs is often spent doing everything to try and provide better lives for our families. Oftentimes we do things and we say that we're sacrificing time with our family so that we can give them a better life. What I've learned as a father is simply this. Our families need more of us than they do our money. And if you'll give them your most valuable asset, your time, then we'll change a lot of the problems that we see in our world today. A lot of the problems we see in our world today is because of the breakdown of the fabric of the family. And so whatever you believe, if you decide to become a parent and you want to have a family, then we owe it to them to give them our greatest resource, and that's our time. So today I'm going to talk about how much time you should spend with your family, and I'm going to give you some specific things you can do to develop better relationships with your family members. And then I'm going to give you a tool that we use. You'll be able to download it right here at the end of the video called My Perfect Week. And in this tool, it helps you intentionally create the life you want, not only with your business, but also with your family. I believe you can have it all. You can have a great business, you can earn a great income, and you can have a great family life. You can stay married to the person of your dreams. You can have great relationships with your children, but it has to be intentional. Every business, every life is either accidentally created or it's intentionally created. So I'm asking you right now, is your life being accidentally created? Do the circumstances of your day dictate the amount of time you spend with your people? Or are you intentional about what time and what resources you're going to give them and are non-negotiable on your family activities? I know we have some activities that we like to say are non-negotiable, but when we're with our families, are we really present? Are you on your phones, checking your texts, scrolling through Instagram, looking at your Snapchats, doing your Be-Reels? Are you really present with the people that you're with? My focus as a father is to think about how do I finish my day so I can get back and spend more time with my family. The measure of success to me is not how much money do I make, but what kind of quality life do I have with the people that I care about the most. And then that comes from the heart. Maybe it's because of my background and because of growing up with a family that didn't have any cousins or uncles or relatives that lived in the United States. All of our family members were from Holland or from England, and my dad was an only child. And so not growing up with cousins and all of the family that my kids get to enjoy today, I wanted to have a family where my kids wanted to be with their cousins, where they wanted to be together, and I wanted to create a business that supported that lifestyle. What are the guidelines? How many of you work an 8-hour week? Well, if you're an entrepreneur, an 8-hour week is foreign. 8 hours used to seem like a lot. It's a guideline that says you should have 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours with your family. What if you actually did that every single day? Could you imagine the relationships you would have with everybody? Here's what usually happens. We spend 12 to 14 hours either doing work or fake work, and then we spend a little bit of time with our family, and then we go to bed. But when we're with our family, we're actually doing some of the work. I mean focused attention given to them. How much time would you spend with your family if you could actually choose it? If you decide, okay, so here's what my family looks like, how much time could I spend with them? If you say my clients are my family, I love that, and I love that you make your clients feel that way, but they aren't your family. And so the relationships that you have with the people you care about, and everybody defines family differently. I want you to make your definition of family to determine the relationships and people that don't have any monetary value to you. They're not in your life because you make money from them. They're in your life because you love them and because you want to be around them. They could be your dear friends. They could be your closest confidants. They could be the people that have mentored you. But there's not a financial benefit to the relationship. It's family. Does that make sense? They're the people you choose to be with regardless of the transactional value of their relationship. So I'd like you to think about that. Now, the other thing I want you to think about is in your daily success habits tracker, when you write down the activities and you put $100 in that left-hand column and you put a no by the ones you wouldn't do, I call those activities fake work. That's the pretending of being busy doing activities you could outsource for less than $100 an hour. And I encourage you to not only eliminate those activities, but replace them with either dollar productive activities or family focused activities. I believe there's 5 areas that you should have balance in your life: family, faith, friends, fun, and fitness. And what we do is we focus on the number 6, which is finances, usually at the expense of one of the other 5. I believe that if you're intentional and you lay it out, you can have it all. You can make good money and you can have good family, faith, friends, fun, and fitness, whatever those definitions mean to you. How do we prioritize? Let's talk about time blocking. The tool I'm going to give you is called My Perfect Week. The concept behind My Perfect Week is every week, once a week, usually Sunday nights is when I'll do this, or Sunday morning, whenever you have undistracted time time where you're able to just really focus on, if this week were perfect, what would it look like? When would I prospect? When would I show homes? When would I do office work? When would I work with my training of my buyers, agents, and listing partners? When do we do our daily huddles? And we design our perfect week. Then we go through and we put in the things that we have to do for our clients. Now, when designing your perfect week, let me give you a tip. The first thing you should put in your perfect week are called non-negotiable activities or family-related activities. If your child has a soccer game or a dance performance or a recital, or you have a date night with your spouse or your loved one, or you have a date night with one of your children, you schedule those things in first. You put the highest priority, non-negotiable, family-focused activities in first. If fitness is important to you, you go to the gym at 6:30 in the morning, then you put your focused gym time at 6:30. And so you do the things that matter the most, family, faith, friends, fun, fitness. You put those 5 things in your perfect week calendar and say, if my week were perfect, this is when I would do these activities. And then you put your activities for work in. Now, I want you to think about this. Most real estate agents are what I call Pop-Tarts. Julie Timms, one of my master coaches out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, talks about, are you going to be one of those Pop-Tart agents? When a buyer calls and wants to go see a house, you just pop up out of your toaster and you just like a robot get in your car and go show a house? Or do you put them in the time that you've blocked to actually show homes? So if you've blocked times in the morning and afternoon to show homes and a client says, I'd like to see a house today, you say, great. Would you like to go in the morning or the afternoon? They say afternoon, you say, well, I've got 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, because those are the times that you've blocked for showing homes. You intentionally put the people in your calendar when you've blocked those times, rather than being a Pop-Tart jumping out of your toaster and going down and showing a house whenever they want you. It sends 2 messages to your consumer. Number 1 is that you're intentional about when you show houses. You give them alternative choices, but both of your alternative choices are when you choose. So now you're choosing when to show homes, and you let them know that you have a schedule and you're busy, and that they're oftentimes, and I would say most of the time, willing to work within your schedule. Somebody wants to list a property, no problem. I do my listings at this time and this time. You want to do early evening or mornings? If they say early evening, you say, great, I do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because those are times when my kids don't have practice or games or things that I'm going to be involved in. So the goal is to, number 1, put in your family non-negotiable activities first. Then you put in your faith, friends, fun, fitness, family, faith, friends, fun, fitness in second. Then you do your money-making activities third. This is your prospecting activities. When you're going to focus on developing business, then you do showing houses and buying and working with sellers. And then you'll put in the other activities that you have to do to be able to be successful in your business, like daily huddles or office work or taking care of transactions. This concept, using the My Perfect Week scheduler, is game-changing, because it turns a life from accidentally created by the whirlwind of your life and turns it into a intentionally created opportunity for you to be very clear on what's important to you. What you'll find is that your relationships get better. You're going to find that the client relationships you have become more rich and intentional, and you're going to find that you have more time to do the things you actually care about in life, like fishing. That's another one of my 5 F's, is fishing. And so some of the things that we've noticed that will make a big difference when you start to become intentional in your life, we talked about the My Perfect Weeks, which I'm going to give you. There's a video we can link to right here where we talk about the daily success habits tracking, where you track what you actually do versus what you intended to do. When they don't line up, then you make course corrections the following week. I've never had a perfect week, but I've had better weeks. And each time I focus on progress and not perfection, we just get a little bit more balance in our lives. I'll give you some links down below as well to a couple of my favorite books. I love Gary Keller's book, The One Thing, which teaches you how to focus on that most important thing that will make the biggest impact in your life. Also, I love Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy talks about Eat the Frog, and it talks about doing the hard thing first and getting it out of the way so the rest of your day is a happy day because you've already eaten the frog. The next thing I'm going to suggest is that having a personal business coach that understands life balance, understands team building, and understands real estate that works with you, that will help you prioritize these things in your life. Sometimes we can't get out of our own way because we don't know what to do, and it takes a coach or a GPS to kind of guide us in that process. And then there's tremendous software tools, things like Asana, Trello boards, Monday.com, that are helpful in prioritization, execution of your tasks. We'll talk about it in other videos, things like Agile and things that help you with accomplishing your goals. But for the purpose of this video, time mastery is a choice. Most people will say that I haven't had time to do the important things. Well, the acronym for time is that is my excuse. And I want you to stop using time as an excuse and start being intentional. I want you to go right now, download the My Perfect Week schedule, and let's build your perfect week. Once you build your perfect week, you're then on your road to having better time and life balance. You can have it all, and it starts with My Perfect Week.